Whew, Lord have mercy, girl. All right. We're going to get ready for this live.
Okay, y'all. He is like ready. Okay.
Get ready. Whoa. See, I should be doing all this yarning.
And
I
that's how
shouldn't be
you
doing all
know
this yarning. It's too it's
it's too
only two
early.
o'clock. It's only 2 o'clock. I shouldn't be doing all this yarning.
Right.
But I ain't got no sleep last night. So that's
None
why I'm doing all this yarning.
whatsoever.
Okay.
But anywho, hope everybody is feeling well and been having a great,
I'm trying
awesome
to get
week.
Stephanie on real quick.
And y'all is ready for this weekend, this good old weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hope this
See
shit
what
is
we got
fun.
going on. See what we got going on. I need to close out some of these damn tabs.
Yeah, go ahead and do that because that's a lot.
Am I the only one that have 100 tabs up at one time?
Probably not. I will not say that you do.
Okay. Close that out. Close that out.
I'm just waiting for her.
All right.
See.
All right. Just let that. Just wait for a minute. Wait till everybody get on.
All right.
Make me some drink.
All right.
Drink.
Okay.
Can't have the drink that I want. Oh, you know you bought this yesterday.
What? Yeah.
Kids.
What? Yeah. More. Yeah. Oh, we got one person watching. Huh?
Did you want a drinky drink?
Sure. We got some water.
It's good for you, girl. We got one person. Hey, one person.
Oh, nope, we got
people.
three.
Oh shit.
We got three.
We got three people on. What's going on, y'all? Oh no! You gotta turn.
Oh yeah, they be copywriting and all
Yeah,
that.
they
doing the
they'll
most.
copyright the shit out of this damn video.
And then you cussing on a gospel song, girl. You was off the chain, girl.
What's going on, y'all? What's up, y'all? Hey, we're doing a Q&A, so I'm gonna need somebody to call this number right here, 912-228-3609. Okay, call that number and ask your questions.
Yes.
You know, I thought it had the other number. Let me look at it. Who changed it to that number?
Girl, it always been that number. I think what you did last time is you put it in the chat. Yes, you put it in the chat because it's all when it was set up. It was set up with that number. So
let me see.
All right, y'all. Listen, we're waiting for Miss Stephanie to join the call. So because we were going to be doing a live Q&A. So if y'all have any questions y'all want to have answered, please call. Well, we're gonna have a different number that's going that we're trying to put
up right now. If they
call
that number, you know, they're gonna go straight to Madonna. And that's not where I wanted it to go at.
Yeah, just add banner and then apply ticker. Oh well, never mind, because that one's already there. So that's the phone number that you're gonna call right there. We just changed it.
All right, y'all. We doing a Q&A. Let's go. Y'all be in our inboxes
all the time,
asking all these questions.
Right.
Okay.
So now is the time.
Now is the time to call in and ask your questions, and we'll try our best to answer them for you. Okay. Last time we did a Q&A, it was all right. It wasn't bad. We had a couple of people.
Yeah, a couple of people called in. We had somebody call in after we got off too.
Yeah. Yeah, they still was calling the number, ain't it? I have to take that down. All right, let me see what we got here.
We got 2 comments. Hey, Miss Mac.
Hey, Miss Mac.
How you doing, girl?
Miss Mac, was you on the call this morning? I don't think Miss Mac was on the call this morning. You wasn't on the call this morning, Miss Mac.
Miss Mac been kind of busy.
We was going over email marketing this morning and you missed it, but don't worry, I'm gonna put that video up in the community for y'all. She said, what's the number? Yes, the number. I'm gonna put the number in one more time for you.
It's right there. It's on the screen.
Oh, okay, I put it on the screen.
It's on the screen. 912-604-1421. That is the number.
Yeah.
Call the number. Let's see. She said, I'm trying to call in. She said, I see it.
Okay, it's on the screen.
Oh, we got 4 people. What's up, y'all?
There we go.
There she go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, there goes Stephanie.
All right. What's up, girl? Hold on. I'm about to bring Stephanie up real quick.
Yes.
Stephanie is on. Yes. Hey.
How are you ladies doing?
How you doing? Okay.
I'm good. It's been a hectic day, but I'm happy to be here. This is going to be fun.
Yes. It's been hectic for both of us. I said, we need some drinks after this because it is. Today's been one of those days.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. But what we're gonna be doing, Stephanie, we're doing live Q&As. I just had one call come in from Miss Mac. So Miss Mac, go ahead and ask your question, girl.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you guys. So, I am a part of the Tenacity Warrior Group coaching program. So, and one of the things we've been talking about a lot is like contracts and just, they've been answering a lot of our questions. So I've had my company for a while, but really just getting up and running as far as getting contracts. So one of the questions that I have, I currently have 2 apartment complexes, and one apartment complex is a 5-day-a-week complex, and it's 8 hours per day. And so I have made the decision. So I have made the decision to do W-2 for that one, and then I have my second one that is 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. And I'm going to do a W-2 in there as well, just to be consistent because they're big accounts. So my question is, one of the accounts, they supply all of the supplies. But now that I'm switching, I was doing independent contractor. Now that I will be switching to the W-2 for these, I just moved out of my office and I'm like, oh my God, did I shoot myself in the foot? Because I don't necessarily have a place for people to pick up supplies anymore.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions. That's an easy one. I could probably get a storage unit or something like that, for that. But I moved into a co-working space.
Yeah.
So I don't have like my big office or whatever.
Okay, cool. Well, Stephanie, I'm gonna let you give her some advice on that because I know you have all employees, and
yes,
you have an office for your employees to come pick up the supplies. So just explain to her a little bit of how that system works.
Yes, so we have 3 office locations. The one is where my managers actually work out of and where we do meetings and things like that. The other 2 are strictly for kind of what you're describing, for them to replenish their supplies, as well as to have that Google My Business location so that we can get reviews there. However, there's definitely multiple ways to work around what you're describing of like, okay, your staff have to get supplies. I've seen many companies who they work remotely or whatever, they don't have an office. They'll just they'll Amazon or whatever, ship supplies directly to the staff member's house so they can take it. We, one of our larger facilities, we can ship directly to their location. They have no problem with that as well. These being apartment complexes, that might not be a possibility. But I would almost like say, if you want to avoid an office, you can just do that. Otherwise, where's your business at, hun? Like where in the country?
Yeah, so it's Georgia.
Okay, so I mean, it can freeze down here where in Wisconsin, where my business is, like everything freezes in the winter. So if you're gonna do a storage unit, which is super common, lots of businesses do that successfully. Having it temp controlled can be a problem in the winter. I mean, obviously, it just froze here, like in Georgia, like not too long ago. So it is possible. So temp controlled could be a way, but yeah, a storage unit could be a really good solution as well. Or get really creative and start reaching out to small businesses who might have a decent sized office space that would be a good location to you, and they might want to make a little extra coin, and you rent off a storage closet in their space. There's creative solutions.
Right.
That's good. I like that.
That's
I like
good.
that.
That's good. All right. What was your next question?
Yeah, and my second question was, so I am primarily focused on commercial, and so I had ZenMaid that I was using when I was doing residential, but I got rid of it when I was basically just like cleaning up my systems. So, I don't see a lot of commercial focused companies with like the ZenMaid and like Booking Koala and things like that. Do you think that I need that, or if I'm really focused right now on just commercial, if I don't need that as well as like email marketing?
So I have, I think between 60 and 70 commercial accounts and exclusively use ZenMaid for all scheduling, residential and commercial. And the reason I would suggest you use some type of scheduling software is for the clocking in and the clocking out, the GPS tracking, consolidated place for your staff to get the notes. We also link the checklist. They have digital checklist features. So there's definitely probably other softwares if you're only commercial that is geared towards strictly janitorial. If you do any sort of residential from a management perspective, I want it all in one place. I don't want to have to use different scheduling softwares for the different avenues. So for us, I really like, the only thing that I could see potentially is like an inventory management like side of it, but I'm not familiar with any softwares that kind of do all of that completely. There might be one, but from like an affordability standpoint, I think that's why I like ZenMaid. So I try not to be biased, but I've only ever used them for 6 years. So that's my only experience. So I think you need a software.
Gotcha. Did she answer your questions, Miss Mac?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. This is
You
so
betcha.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you for calling in, girl. I'll see you on Monday.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Yes.
Awesome.
Did we have another call?
Did we?
I thought somebody was trying to call in.
All
right. So you just came right in on a call.
Right.
She didn't get to breathe. She was like, damn, y'all on already? Okay. Woo. Yeah, we moved fast. Hey, Angelica. Angelica is another one that's a part of our wonderful community.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're doing, everybody, for the 6 people that I see on this live, okay, so far. If you have any questions, make sure you do a call 912-604-1421. I like for my callers to call in because sometimes we can misinterpret whenever you guys are texting your questions and stuff like that. So I like to have a conversation. So you got a question for me, you got a question for Stephanie, feel free to call in. But while we're waiting for them to call in, I didn't give a formal introduction.
Yeah, here I am, this random lady.
Listen, I wish I could do like a Shannon Sharp, like, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
Shannon Sharp is bad with it. Oh man. Yes, Stephanie, let everybody know exactly who you are, the name of your company, give them a little brief backstory. Just real.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short. So my name's Stephanie Pipkin. I own a business called Serene Clean. I opened that just under 6 years ago in Western Wisconsin, and it was just strictly supposed to be a side hustle, me, cleaning, maybe having a couple part-timers, but it grew very, very quickly, both residential and commercial, as well as vacation rentals, to the point now that I mentioned we have 3 locations. It grew to $1 million in probably 2.5 years, I believe. And we're in super rural Wisconsin. So like the towns are like 5,000 people, 10,000 people. And our largest city that we serve is 50,000. So at this point, we're at about 1.4 million a year in revenue. We should hit 1.5 this year. I have about 28 to 30 staff members. And now I host Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, which is brought to us by ZenMaid. So I just
shout out to
Shout
Zen.
out.
interviewed the ladies here, and that conversation was so fun. They actually came to my house, and I live in Savannah, and I run my business completely remotely now, and have pretty much the freedom that I want. And so that's a very, very short and condensed version of some things happened in between there, of course. But there you go.
There you go. There you go. In a
Oh,
nutshell,
awesome.
that's who Miss Stephanie is, everybody. Okay.
Yes.
Angelica just said, Stephanie, you are a great addition to the team. I look forward to meeting you one day.
Yes,
Yes.
Angelica. I think you're in the mastermind, I believe, the ZenMaid
Yes.
mastermind. So I see you all the time. So thank you.
Yes.
It's very sweet.
Awesome.
All right. So if anybody, y'all have questions, make sure y'all call in. We're not here for
Yes.
nothing. We got a whole lot of things we could be doing on a Friday.
Okay.
A whole lot of things we could be doing. A whole lot
Right.
on a Friday. So if y'all got any questions, feel free to call this number 912-604-1421.
Well, while we're waiting on people, let's get the people to know really, really who Stephanie is. Like, can you just tell us, like, how are you able to stay in a different state and your business is in another state? Like, how did you go about doing that?
Definitely just like systems and processes and having a good management team. So I have 3 full-time managers who live and work where my business is. Everybody started as cleaners. So it was definitely a very like gradual transition to getting them in the office, but just focusing on, even from the beginning, what is scalable and what is not. Even though I didn't ever envision it to be this large ever, I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined it could get to this size. However, from the beginning, there's a lot of things that I did, like even just having standardized checklists, doing things in a very professional manner, trying to stand out in that manner, as well as really being, I guess, very specific on the type of brand that I want, which is a really community involved brand. And like we've done local nonprofit donations every single month now for 6 years. We give away free cleanings. We have a cleaning nomination program, so community or like oriented as a business is very important. And then like very family oriented as a employer. Like all of my staff members are parents and we're really flexible and 99% women. So it's just a very feminine workplace, I would say. And I think that what grew it so fast is also just focusing on doing the right things over and over and over. And like, they're very boring, meaning like you get reviews every week. You like just like psychotic about quality. Like we have a less than 0.7% complaint rate. And that's over like 5 years I've been tracking it. And that's, 180 plus appointments a week. So thousands of appointments. And so like having quality at the forefront, good culture at the forefront, and then just like, being the best. I know that sounds really cocky, but it's like, I want to be the best. Like, and so I won't settle.
Exactly.
That's not cocky. That's listen, you have all the rights. Just listening to you, and you've made it to 1 million and you're surpassing 1 million. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at, right? It's just so many people, like in the beginning, they're having an issue with like finding clients and just making it past just getting everything structured together. So, far as their operation. So what would be like an advice, for someone just starting up to get to where you're at? Like, what type of habits would they have to develop? Like, how would they systemize everything?
So definitely the online brand of it all is very important. I think a lot of times in the beginning, we all focus and are proud of the fact that we get most of our clients through word of mouth. And though that is something to be proud of, and it definitely is a place that we will always get word of mouth clients, that's never something to not have as like an avenue of leads, but that cannot be the only stream of leads that you're getting. Like over time, it's just not sustainable. It ebbs and flows too much. Like we have to focus on creating other places that leads are coming from. And so for us, that will always be people searching online, seeing our Google reviews, and then going to our website. So having a beautiful professional website with video testimonials, if you have to give your firstborn to get video testimonials, like that's how important this is, because they sell better than anything. They're worth their weight in gold. I have them from years ago still working for me. And that's why we don't have to pay like anything for marketing pretty much at all, because all of that like build up over the years is just this force that they find us, they're convinced, they're sold. We don't like, they're sold before we even talk to them. So if you're not getting reviews, like you are losing out on such an opportunity for that. Those like they build on each other. Just like if we're finding a restaurant to eat, like even if your sister said it was really good, but then you go and look and there's not a single Google review, or maybe there's a couple bad ones and there's no good ones to like balance it out, you're probably going to go somewhere else that has better reviews. It's just human nature. We want social proof.
Right.
Oh
and I've seen your website. Your website just oozes company culture.
Yes.
I mean, you have the testimonials from the cleaners, the clients, like you're showing, you have, I always talk about the Christmas in July that you do. I'm like, wow, like when I tell you, I got to steal that, by the way. I got to steal that. That's dope.
So like just speaking on that, like just the company culture, and that is something what I've noticed just as in the beginning for everybody, it's operations, it's the finances, and it's hiring and finding clients. And I see that you were able to scale that. So just on your intake on being in the beginning, like how are you able to build company culture when there's so many different personalities that you have to deal with?
Yeah, it's definitely trial and error. And when I started when I was 22 years old, and I was just a child who was very easily taken advantage of, and like I let the employees walk all over me. And so I absolutely was not an expert at this in the beginning. And I also took things so personally when they screwed me over. And it's like, as opposed to just realizing that even if it feels personal, it's not, like you're a job to them. And even if they seem like they really like you or whatever, it's more important to have them respect you. And honestly, when it comes to like hiring, it is about seeing as many people as possible with the least effort as possible. And so for us, implementing group interviewing probably about a year in, that is really what just skyrocketed us very quickly, because instead of me sitting around and wasting time on no-shows, or they do show up and I'm like, I can tell you're a crack addict, I don't want to speak to you right now, like this is not going to be a good fit, like, and now I waste half an hour of my time. So it really is about like your guys' time is so valuable, especially in the beginning. You don't have any time. Like you're cleaning, you're trying to run this whole business, right? And so try to like everybody come in, you see them at once, or you do an online interview. And if they can't even show up to the group interview, at least you're not wasting your time. Like at least you're not sitting there waiting for them to show up. I kept doing that and I kept wasting my time. So I also don't care about resumes. Don't even read them because like it doesn't, like, again, I'm not going to waste my time individually looking at anybody till they can prove that they can at least show up. Then maybe I'll take a look and see it a closer look. Don't waste your time like on individuals until that point.
I thought I was the only one being like that. Like Miss Tamika be serious. I'm reading every resume.
I be looking for gaps.
But listen, I was one of the employees that would fake it on the resume. I would put the best resume together. We all did it. I wasn't the only one. Okay. So that's why I don't pay attention to the resumes. I'm like, all I'm really concerned on it. Does it say cleaner? They've been a cleaner before. Okay. Tell them to come to the interview. Tell them to come to the interview process. That's where it really starts at right there. You got to get them to show up first, because half of them not going to show up.
Yeah.
If not more, like, so, okay, a quarter of the people who say they're going to show up don't. And that's something to track. And I think that implementing simple tracking in the beginning, I know like we're all, you hear track your KPIs, track this, track that. And your guys' eyes are probably just like, like, what do I do? But there are some very simple aspects of like tracking in your business, like tracking the numbers. For example, make a spreadsheet. Whoever says they're going to show up, put their name down. And then did they show up? Yes, no. So that 3 months later, when they are applying so that they can get their unemployment benefits, but they have no intention of showing up, you can see, they didn't show up 3 months ago. I'm not going to even say, come to the group interview. So that, again, you're not, and also not rewarding people for being shitbags. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
yeah. There's no other way to put it, y'all. There's no other way. Listen, if y'all are watching this, everybody that's watching this live right now, make sure you call in. I got my phone right here. Call us if you have some questions, okay? Because that's the only way you're gonna get us to keep rambling like this.
Okay.
All right. If y'all don't got no questions, then we're gonna wrap this thing on up because you know people got things to do on Friday.
Right.
But yeah. With that being said, we are actually gonna be moving to Atlanta. Okay. So I'm gonna be just like you. I'm gonna be operating my business from Atlanta, 4 hours away, right? But one of my biggest pain points is putting the right person in place to we got somebody. We got somebody. Hold on. Hello.
Hey, ladies.
Hey, Jessica. I know you was gonna come save the day because I was gonna keep ranting.
That ranting is valuable information.
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is. But go ahead. I'll say what I gotta say later. You go ahead and say your question.
Okay. Well, hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
She said
I
hello.
wanted to jump on here and ask you a question. So, why did you decide to go with the employee model over the subcontractor model? For me, I solo cleaned for like 9 years, and then I switched over to running a business, and I've only been doing that for about 2.5 years. And when I stepped into it, I didn't know anything about anything, and I knew that, but I was very confident in myself that I could learn as I go. So right now where I'm at, I am considering doing the employee model just for many reasons, and I see that it's working really well for you. So I wanted to ask you, how does that work for you? How did that work in the beginning, like with your first hire, and why did you choose that?
Great question, and very useful for everybody listening as well, because I think that there's a lot of information put out about like that maybe independent contractors are the way to go. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it can't be successful, because it absolutely can. There's many cleaning companies who run strictly independent contractor models. There is so many reasons that wasn't even a consideration, like for me at all. Number one, being in a rural area, that's not how things run. Like meaning there's not a lot of people who are even having cleaning businesses for me to go find them to basically solicit them as my group of contractors. So that was the biggest barrier where it was in a consideration. But I didn't know much about anything at the beginning. So now as I've learned, it has just solidified even more so that I made the right choice. And I'm so confident I would literally never go the subcontractor route. Again, doesn't mean you can't. It just means I wouldn't. And these are the reasons. So number one is company culture, and that building a sense of team amongst people who are truly their own business entities is very difficult. And if that is the culture that you are interested in, for example, I did a really good interview that's on the podcast with Chris Schwab, and we talk about this concept. He wanted, because he lives in Japan, his business is in, I think, Washington, D.C. So he wanted a company culture of highly independent people who don't need a lot of rah-rah, right? That's not what I want for my business. I want a very, and I hate to use it because it sounds so toxic, I want a very kind of family like sense of like we care about each other, we know each other, like we're connecting very often. That's important to me, and I do think it serves us well when it comes to like people, like loyalty and retention. Additionally, it's the sense of control that I want to have, not just the sense, the absolute control I want on every single touch point with the client is so important to me, because when you have a group of independent contractors that you are basically mining jobs out, you're just the middleman. That's even, no matter what, that's how I feel. Like you're the middleman, and at the end of the day, you do not have control. You can choose not to give them jobs in the future, but like specifically speaking, when it comes to the laws related to independent contractors, they're very, very, very like hard to handle when it comes to wanting full control. Like I want things done the way I want them done. I want them to dress the way I want them to dress. I want them to show up when I say. I want them to not tell me if they're going to work this week or not. Like, no, that's a lot of problems I see with owners who allow that. Is they all like, yeah, I can do Tuesday or whatever. No, you can tell me your availability, but this is your static availability so that I can book out months in advance, because that's what we need to do strategically. I also want to be able to say what products you use, to reprimand the way I need, the quality checking. You can't even legally use the word training with independent contractors because they're supposed to be coming to you fully formed. So one of the reasons you may want to use independent contractors is if you don't know a dang thing about cleaning and you have no interest in creating like a training program or whatever, they should be coming to you knowing how to train. But I just see so many inconsistencies then. So say you have one IC doing a cleaning and then they can't do it the next time. And so you send another IC and then all of a sudden is the client getting the same service? Even the way they perform the customer service and the walkthrough and all of the things and the shirt they use, like that's my brand. I want to brand the crap out. Like I want Serene Clean to be the thing. Also, when it comes to loyalty, again, like they're their own business owner. I'm not saying that they can't be loyal to you. They're a lot less, or I would be more afraid of them soliciting my clients than individual cleaners, though it can happen. I've had that happen for sure. Whenever that does happen and a client goes with an individual cleaner that leaves my company, that client almost comes always crawling back to us because they realize all of the things that we can offer them that this other can't. And so a lot of the legality in California, you can't even do this anymore, ICs, because people were doing it so illegally, because if you treat them even so ICs are legally not supposed to get a certain percentage of their jobs from you. So say, I'm not sure what it is in every state, but for example, it could be they cannot get more than 70% of their work from you, because at that point they're an employee. They're an employee, whatever you call them, however you run your taxes, however you're doing your insurance, you are treating them like an employee. And if that can be proven, and if a lawsuit is brought up to you or a complaint is taken to the Department of Workforce Development, you will have to back pay all of the workers' comp and insurance, and a lot of times other fees as well. So I've seen companies go under because of this. So the risk is not worth it for me. One strategy you can certainly do is have both. Have W-2s with ICs as your backup. When somebody calls in, you go to your network of ICs, say, I got to fill this job. Who's got it? And that's a great strategy to do that. We just have an on-call person now at this point that's built in, and we never book solid. We hire a lot of part-timers so that they're flexible. So I know that was a lot of information, but I just very
no, but that was
good.
That was good. That was actually one of the reasons why we started to implement hiring more employees, and that was another one of the reasons we first met. Like you guys, that was another reason why we gave some of our ICs accounts too, because we can't be y'all got to be independent. Okay. So we start, here, you need your own people, so yeah, did we answer did she answer your question, Angelica?
She did, and I don't know if you got anybody else calling in, but I got another one to follow up with that if we can keep rolling with it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me about your first employee hire. I want to hear the nasty, messy part of it. The how it didn't go well part of it.
I'll go my first two because they're both terrible. The first one I hired at a coffee shop. Again, 22-year-old little child, Stephanie. I'm like, great, you're hired. Meet me at my apartment for training the first day because I had a little apartment. And she didn't even show up. She ghosted me. She wouldn't answer any of my messages. So that first, I was crying in my apartment, like, oh my gosh, like, why would she do this to me? That was number one. Number two, who was my actual official who finally started showing up, Gabby. She was doing like bad quality, and I would share it with her, and she'd always have an excuse as to why the client was wrong or whatever. But she seemed like open to feedback. But then eventually I had a hunch, and I was still working full time at my main job, and I happened to be in the town that she was scheduled at. And I was just like, I need to check the cleanings that she's at. I just know that things are going wrong. Right. Anyway, so I show up at the one that she is clocked in at in the ZenMaid app. And so she had 2 cleanings that day. This was the second one. I show up. She had left her checklist filled out. And this house, they had a giant, like, Bernese mountain dog, big black dog that shed crazily. And clearly nothing had been touched. There's hair everywhere. So I start speed cleaning so I can get this dang house clean for the client so they don't know. And so I clean it. I'm there for like 2 hours. I'm cleaning. I make an excuse at my other job. And then I text her when I'm done. I'm like, hey, how is Tiffany's house going? And she was like, oh, great. I just got done. I just forgot to clock out. Let me clock out. And I took a picture of the house and I was like, actually, no, I just cleaned the whole thing. And she's like, oh, I guess I'm fired then. And I'm like, yeah. And so the first house, what she did at that first house of the day, the client emailed just furious. And they're like, the lady, she sat in her car for 4 hours. So she was trying to game the system. She clocked in the driveway, sat in her car for 4 hours and clocked out, didn't do any cleaning. So clearly she was done and their kid was home. And so they saw the cleaning like that. So yeah, this is like my very first employee experience was this. So if I quit then, well, so my whole point is don't give up because that was terrible.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that was juicy. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So there you go. You're gonna have some shitty cleaners. That's the moral to the story.
We just had one this week, no call, no show. Like that's just happened and put us in a huge bind for our biggest new account. So yeah, they just suck sometimes and you just roll with it. Like if you take it too personally, it's like you can't be in this business because it's like, oh, yep, that's people for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
Long story short, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to you ladies for always teaching us and mentoring us. And shout out to ZenMaid, who I've been with for 2 years, and they helped me grow my business.
Shout out to
6 years
ZenMaid.
over the past year. And thank you guys for your time and taking my call. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. We'll see you in class Monday.
See you Monday. Bye, Stephanie.
All right.
Bye.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Wow. I hope y'all get some value out of this, man. I could go on and on and on about horror stories from
Yes, you might
cleaners.
want to call back.
All right. So we had a call in from Damien, it says. Let's see if we can get him back on the line. Let's see.
Hey, Miss Johnson, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, you doing pretty good. I see you live. I wanted to catch you really quick and just say thank you for everything that you're doing.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, big supporter of you guys, day one. So I follow your story. I love your story. Eventually, when business picks up, I'm going to be a part of that VIP crew that you have.
VIP crew, just join the community. It's $47.
Okay.
$47. Okay, just join. I got some people ain't even start their business yet. They just join just to get the information, and they be in class every day with us. So it's well worth the investment. Trust and believe.
I will do. I'll definitely get it done later on tonight. You dropped the link in the comment section, right?
The link I dropped the link to the workshop because I actually have Miss Stephanie on because we're going to be holding a workshop here in Savannah, Georgia.
That's right.
March the 22nd. Okay. And it's going to be all about operations, organization, finances. Okay.
I definitely need to come to that workshop. And I love Stephanie's IG page also. Thank you, Stephanie, for all that you do for the industry.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Did you have any questions for us?
Yes. So with the new administration taking place, right? I know we have to learn the game and pivot, just being business owners, point blank, period. With them taking away so many federal contracts from small business, is it going to be more challenging for cleaning companies to get cleaning contracts? Will the landscape change, or will we even have an opportunity to get any cleaning contract at all?
I actually don't think that it will be hard to get cleaning contracts anywhere. I mean, if you think about it, everybody needs our services. Everybody. Everybody. Everywhere you go, if you go into a restaurant, you go into a hotel, anywhere you literally, any type of business, houses, everybody needs our services. So I don't see it going out of business. What about you, Stephanie?
So I will say that no matter what, government contracts, meaning federal facilities, are challenging to get anyway. And most likely you will not be the main contractor. You will be a subcontractor regardless. So even if it's a large contracting company who gets the contract, they're subbing it out to local businesses. And I'll give you an example. Our largest commercial account is a federal research facility. It was a government bid, like through the SAM website or whatever it's called. We have to have a DUNS number. Or Dun and Bradstreet number. So we bid that directly. And then we also bid it through several contracting companies. So like our bid was actually submitted like 10 times to this facility, right? Because we were the only local business that was responding and blah, 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 blah. So either way, I didn't get that bid directly. I got that through a through a contracting company who actually ironically is in Georgia. The account is in Wisconsin. I also am in Georgia, but it was interesting to see that like, even I still didn't get it directly. I didn't know how to bid it correctly, meaning the paperwork side of it. So when it comes to like, if things change with taking away like opportunities from small businesses, you may still have that. If that is the case, I'm not super familiar with exactly what you're referencing. However, I believe that you will still be getting reached out to by contracting companies. And this is why it's so important to have that robust online presence, because if they couldn't find us online, meaning our website and all of this, we never would have gotten that, most likely they wouldn't have found us. And every time I've had any federal job, so through our local military base, we've had several. They found us from Google searching. Like that's how they're finding us, and inviting us to bid. They'll send us the bid request. So I think you'll still be good as long as you're still doing your online branding. And, honestly, it's such a small sector of our business. It's a large revenue. Like when you can get a big boy, it's great, but that's not where we're focusing. We're getting regular private entities as our main commercial facilities.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's like if they didn't go after, if they didn't sub it out, what would they do?
They have to. They're not cleaners. They're literally, again, that middleman. They're getting their little chunk, their 10% or whatever, just for mining out the job. So it's not going to be physically done by somebody.
Yeah. They don't want to deal with the headache of staffing that thing out. Trust.
I know. It's a lot. They don't even want to deal with.
So I actually, I don't think it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. I appreciate it, and thank you, Stephanie, for kind of touching on the half 1099 and the half W-2 employees, because I know for like in the state of Georgia, I could talk for Georgia. If you do have W-2s on your payroll, you have to pay what's called a company match. So if that employee pays $100 in taxes, as your company, you have to match that and pay $100. So if you have 5 employees doing $100 each, that's $500. So yes, so I do know some bigger cleaning companies that do have 70% employees and 30% 1099. This all depends on your financial structure also. But I love that you touched on the tax part of it, because it can be very dicey and it can be very tricky how you do it, because sometimes if you get summons to court and you in the middle of a workman's comp litigation, like you said, sometimes that can make or break you. It can sometimes break you. So that's super important to recognize when you start dealing with payrolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, why it's so important, like don't pay employees like you would an IC. Like ICs should be making significantly more because they are taking on a bunch of the risk when it comes to insurance and all of the things you just mentioned. So it's like employees, you don't pay them as high hourly because you're taking on that risk. You're insuring them. You're doing all the workers' comp. You're supplying the tools and supplies, and you're paying payroll taxes. Like that's huge. That's a huge expense. So either way, whichever way you dice it, like the percentages of your cost related to payroll or paying contractors should be around the same, but it just depends on like all in, I should say, like expenses related to payroll. So you bring up a great point for sure of just like it's risk management, basically, like who's taking on the risk, and that determines where the money's going.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly. I know, because I told our story on how we got hit with that $10,000 at the end of it. I mean, just wake up in the morning and 10,000 just gone out of the account, just missing, from the insurance audit.
Yep.
And it's
We that just happened to us in December, but it was 30,000, and it was from a incident that happened nearly 4 years ago. And so, yeah, that was not fun. The 30
I
grand that
remember
I had
you
to.
told me that. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I'm crying about 10,000. You got hit with the 30,000.
Right.
Woo.
Right.
Yeah, you got to stay in compliance, especially when you're playing around with independent contractors.
I know.
Okay.
So does that answer your question, Damien?
Yes, yeah, you guys are amazing. I appreciate it, and thank y'all for so much. One last thing, I promise.
Okay.
In 2025, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not 1995 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is, Chat GPT, Google Gemini. As a business in the cleaning space, how can we any tips or tricks to stick out in the marketplace to seem like it's more than just a low skill, it's a service that's needed, but is there anything that we can do to kind of be exceptional, with some of these, economic climates and a lot of negativity in the air? Do you guys have any opinions or ideas how, for the beginner, for the middle guy, and for the guys at the top of the game, how we can kind of just stick out, because gone are the days of knocking on doors, giving the HR lady your business card, and I'll call you in 2 weeks. Everything is now a lock and a key. It's about who you know. So when it comes on to just, looking more, I guess I should say, tech savvy in the cleaning space, do you have any idea how to stick out there?
That's a good question.
How to stick out there?
It's a lot.
It's so many different things.
You
We
do.
covered this in class where I did a whole class on your Godfather offer, and not Godfather offers. I'm sorry. What were we talking about? Things that you could do to stick out amongst everybody else. So we were talking about we had these virtual. Remember, we did the virtual book bags.
Right.
Where that you could put on and have your whole team go out there to an event. And I was just painting a picture for everybody. Just imagine if this was your marketing campaign and I was showing all these pictures. You just got to think outside the box. That's what I think the class
right.
Thinking outside the box.
I like
being
that.
different.
Like that.
We talked about the custom-made candies, the custom-made chocolates, adding that to the Airbnb package, and every time your cleaners go out there to clean, they'll leave these custom-made candies with your logo on it. Just the little details that help you stick out.
Right.
So it was really neat when I did the class because I had the pictures. I don't have the pictures to really show you now, but just think outside the box. Think about what these other companies are not doing.
Right. And you gotta, and that's where I was gonna go with, as far as just knowing, you have to do some market research, knowing the competition in the area. You gotta see, I call it the SWOT analysis. Look at what their strengths are, look at what their weaknesses are, look at the opportunities, and look at the threats. So just remember that SWOT, and just look at your market and see who's the big time cleaning company in your area. Look at everyone, look at their reviews. And if you want, call them up and schedule a cleaning. You just never know who and what's going on, in that other company. Us personally, when we do walkthroughs, we just don't do walkthroughs. We take donuts to the company. Hey, how are you doing? And we're giving them things. We're giving them tokens.
Right. And I know you said something about Chat GPT, and you said something about the way the world is going. So I was thinking two ways with this question. I don't know whether you're trying to stick out through automation or whether you just want to stand out.
Period.
Which one? Both? Okay. So another one of my hold on.
It's just the echo.
Okay. So I hear echo. I'm sorry. But another one of my my thought process on this whole thing is we're getting away from the personal touch. Don't think that, because everything is moving into the Chat GPT stage and everything has to be automated, and you still I still like door to door.
Right.
I still think that door to door is great. I want somebody to go. I like going out there with my cards and pitching my services to people. That was the number one way I grew my business in the beginning.
You're right.
I mean, that's what I did in the beginning part of it. Okay. I mean, I'm not doing too much of it now, but that's what I did in the beginning. But if you think about these major companies like Citywide, they send people out there to do door to door. And I've actually seen their marketing campaign, like the things that they bring out there to, to their clients. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, oh, well, that's old school. We shouldn't be marketing like that.
Right.
I still say door to door works.
I mean, because if you think about it, people are not just buying services. People are buying people because of who they represent, the value. They're looking at you and saying, do I really trust you to come in here and do what you're exactly going to say that you're going to do? Because just like I look at it like a relationship, and we talk about this a lot in our workshops. We talk about dating your clients. You know what I'm saying? It's a process. You're not just looking into hop into bed with somebody that you just met. I would hope not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's people out here that one hitter and quitters, but I wouldn't think that you would be trying.
I literally just used that analogy yesterday in a conversation of like, if I'm trying to get a man to propose, I just don't like it doesn't just happen like that.
Right.
Like you have to you gotta woo him. You got to show him.
So one thing I never do is I never miss like my client's birthday. I never miss Thanksgiving. I never miss Christmas. So I always say, here's a thank you card, and we appreciate you giving us the opportunity, from younger company. And I asked, do you like Dunkin' Donuts? Do you like Starbucks? And I pop a $20 gift card in there. And those cards, they might not throw it away. They might keep them. But every time they see it, they know that this is from their cleaning crew. So I try to put like a little personal touch on it, where it's like still, I might do 30% high tech and 70% low touch, where I still, you look at my eyes, we still shake hands. I'm in the area. Hey, anything I can do for you? Because like you said, it's like a marriage. It's like a second marriage.
Yeah. I was talking to someone not too long ago. He had a multi-million-dollar company, and he said he hired someone just for customer. What did he call it? It was a person that just went and kept up with not the quality, but he wanted to make the person that he hired made sure that everybody in the company was happy. Basically, they called all the cleaners. They would have conversations with the cleaners, just to get like different conversations. Like, are you happy here? Like, let's talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes as you're growing as a business owner, I know I dealt with this in the beginning, where I would think that the cleaners were okay. Like, they good. They cleaning. They're happy, right? And not knowing that they really weren't happy. They were tired. They were exhausted. They were going through things at home. But who was checking on their mental health? So he hired someone to actually just focus on the mental state of the clients and the cleaners. Because as we grow as CEOs, we can miss all of that. Right?
Blind spots.
Yeah, those can be blind spots. And then when someone just calls you and quits on you out the blue, you're surprised, like, what happened?
Right.
What? Yeah. And they're like, nah, I found something else,
Yeah, that's a very good point. I really love that you said that. And just to piggyback off of that, your website, what does your website say about you? Right? Because you could do all these things about, taking things and dropping them off, but it's like your reviews, and Stephanie did touch up on that. Your reviews say a lot about you. Your word of mouth, it says a lot about you. And I know what we were talking about, Miss Stephanie's website, it breathes company culture. So like when you go to her website, you can tell everyone that's there, they love working for her.
Yeah, it shows it.
Yeah.
And then if you go on the typical, I can pull up 10 cleaning business websites right now.
Right.
And they're not showing their customers video testimonials.
Right.
They may have the Google testimonials, but she has the video. So that's like thinking outside the box.
Right.
Yeah. And Damien, actually a really good thing that I've started in the past, like 2 months actually, that has been very popular and well received is, are you familiar with the software Loom?
Is
Hello?
he still
Is it-
on?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The software.
Loom.
Loom. LOOM. Okay, so Loom is like a really great like video. It's pretty affordable too. So basically, you can just I like record yourself and share it very easily. And so what I do is on client anniversaries, as well as when they have their after their second cleaning, I send a personalized thank you video from me. And I send that to them over email. And I actually am able to batch this. So every single month, I do this once a month, and I just slam through the 20 or 30 of these that I need to do within a couple hours. And I have the email template already created, and my executive assistant actually like gears all of these up, but you can absolutely do this too, of course. And so then I have this process for something that is highly personal. However, this, like when I'm talking about like a system or making things like batching things is a big thing of like, okay, don't need to do this every time it's somebody's anniversary. That's silly.
Right.
But I am doing it. And then I schedule the email to drop on their actual anniversary. So they feel so cared for, but I'm actually doing it in a really like systematic manner and giving them that personal touch. And we do it after the second cleaning, especially because that's when that is the most important moment of, is it going to turn to reoccurring, or is this going to just be kind of like a one-off type of thing? So really encouraging them at that point. So when it comes to customer appreciation, of course we do, like Christmas baskets to our top clients, reaching out for feedback often. And honestly, like when it comes to like standing out or going against like it's easy to stand out against franchises if you do it right. And I get really annoyed when I keep seeing like HomeAglow. I don't know if you guys have seen that HomeAglow. Get your first cleaning $19 or whatever it is, and it really grinds my gears. But okay, why are people attracted to that, right? It seems simple. It seems convenient. Obviously, the price. We don't want to compete on price. That should be the last thing that we're talking about, right? So it's like, what, like really, really, really defining your ideal clients' pain points, and then answering in your marketing and your branding, I solve your pain points. And this is exactly how I plan to solve them. You're hurting in this way, this way, this way. This is how my company solved this. And the other guys aren't solving this, right? And really spelling that out.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
So that's what we do in our branding and marketing. That's kind of how we approach that. And, the whole family aspect and personalization. Yes, AI and ChatGPT and stuff. We use that crap daily. We're in that every single day. I'm like in a relationship with ChatGPT at this point with how much we talk. But at the end of the day, like she said, like the ladies are saying here, the personalized and what you're doing very well is like that human connection. Getting a cleaning can be an experience. So for us, okay, we have a branded room spray that our cleaners are spraying in the room after. We have candles that we're giving in that same scent to clients when they become a reoccurring client. We're trying to make this thing an experience and a luxury, right? Why do people go to spas? It's not like it lasts. You got to keep going, but it feels really good. So how can we make things feel good for them?
Yeah,
absolutely. It's kind of like a Zen moment.
Yes.
And they're not going to get that
serene moment. One could say a serene moment.
Okay. There you go.
Absolutely. Well,
and I did just give the ladies.
I'll definitely take a look at that software Loom, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I actually recorded a Loom. I just put it in our chat, our private chat, ladies. I can't get into the main chat. If you go to our private chat tab, I dropped that link explaining how I do that process. And I don't know if you can see it. And you can share it with them. Yeah, if you want to drop that in the chat for everybody, they can go watch how I do this basically. So, but yeah.
I'm going to put it in there and pin it.
Yeah,
perfect.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything, ladies. And like I said, I'll be definitely part of the community. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
Yes,
awesome.
make sure
Thank you so much.
Get a ticket to the workshop now, March 22nd. March 22nd.
Definitely will. I'll definitely be there.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Okay.
Have a good one.
We got some really good.
Yes. I'm
really
loving it.
Good questions. All right. So I did have somebody else call. Somebody called from a 914 number. Who was that?
Georgia, right?
No. Let me see what this is. It say New York.
Oh.
Hopefully this ain't a bill collector I'm calling back.
Well, I can hit my British accent off on the other, okay?
Okay,
Because you know
yeah.
I got time for it, okay?
Yes.
Because I will do it. Hello. All right, let me do it.
Hello.
Yes, how can I help you? Are you calling in?
Hey, yes, I am calling in. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate all the content you guys put out. It's very, very helpful. But I just had a few questions. So for commercially starting off, is there a certain industry that you would focus on to like just get the ball rolling and get started? And if you do have a specific industry, what is the biggest complaint that you hear from customers
That's good.
through that industry?
Okay. Well, okay. So I coach through experience, right? So when I started my cleaning business, I started off with residential. And there was a couple of reasons why I didn't just jump into commercial. A lot of times commercial is net 30 accounts. And as a new cleaning business owner, I didn't have the money to fund a net 30 account. So net 30 means you got to wait 30 days for your check. And it might not even come on that 30th day. Okay. So I decided to go with residential in the beginning because you get paid the same day. And I was able to like kind of get money, build up my payroll. And then the first quote unquote commercial account, I guess you could say, was move in, move out. It was like an apartment complex. I don't know whether that's commercial or residential. I don't know.
It's commercial. I kind of, yeah.
It's still a net 30 though. But what I did was I cleaned it with my kids. If you follow the story, I got three, they're young adults now, but they used to come out and help me clean these apartment complexes. We did that until we built up the payroll. And once my payroll, I had enough money to start hiring, then I started to outsource.
Right.
So that's how I did it. I didn't just straight do commercial. So I really, I feel like if you did it that way, I wouldn't advise you to get a loan for your payroll because the best way to fund a new business is to let it fund itself.
Amen.
I would either look into getting a grant because maybe you can use some tax money or something, but you're going to need your payroll. That's what you're going to need. Unless you're going to be cleaning the account in the beginning.
Yes. So, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to focus on commercial because I actually seen myself wanting to clean commercial companies.
Okay.
With the residential, I was a little skeptical about doing that because I don't know if I looked at it as like I don't know if I would want to do the residential cleaning. You know, I could see myself doing commercial. So that's why I kind of like wanted to focus more on the commercial side of it.
Right. And you can find commercial accounts, like small commercial accounts. I just won one yesterday, $850 a month.
Yes.
We got a small account, little baby account, right?
Yeah.
It may take an hour to flip it. And the cleaners will be going twice a week for it. So it's real small account.
Small. Right.
And that was a warehouse. It was a warehouse account. And it's like 3 offices, 2 bathrooms. Okay. So little small offices is what I would focus on. Something that you could clean.
Right.
Until you build up your payroll.
Right.
What city are you in, honey? I didn't think I caught that. Did you share?
What city are you in?
I live I'm right next to the Bronx.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, got it. The reason I ask is different. And so commercial can be very specific to your area and the industry. So as I mentioned, like I've got a ton of commercial. Actually, technically the majority of our business is commercial, with the largest account being, I think, like 10 grand a month. We just started one 2 weeks ago. That's like 5 grand a month, 5 days a week, that type of thing. And so our biggest accounts, because in our area, the bread and butter is manufacturing facilities, like blue collar places, dirty shops, right? Those are our biggest accounts, are places where people build things or weld shops or whatever. Doesn't mean we don't have a huge variety of types of commercial. So you don't necessarily need to like nail it down as to what it is, you can hit a bunch of different types of
There you
commercial.
go.
There's some that I've had bad experiences in. For example, dentist offices are filled with women who cannot be pleased. And they have very, very high expectations. And we have really bad experiences with dental offices, even though we're good at quality. So I'd suggest don't start there because they're going to nitpick the crap out of you. If it's a mostly male-centered facility, they just want to make sure the toilet paper is there, right? Like, so the expectations seem to be a lot different with who you're dealing with, you know? And I don't know. It's just I'm telling you what is real. So that is what I've experienced. And so when it comes, so like there is, so broaden your mind as to what commercial could be. It could be auto shops. My longest commercial account is a hardware store. We've cleaned there twice a week for 6 years now. So like it could be anything. And then like my first giant account I got was 2 months into business is when they did the walkthrough, called me. I was an individual cleaner. Is 100,000 square foot facility where they make small motors and engines. Like that's what they build there. And I got it. And that literally right there plummeted us. And as you were, I was like, I'll do the cleaning to cover that payroll cost. But I will point out all of our accounts are on net 15 because we asked. Net 30 doesn't have to be. We asked. And so for us, that is requirement for us. And so our cash flow is never a problem unless it's a really, really, really big guy that we're starting. And at that point, you can make those decisions of like how you want to handle that, but don't be afraid to ask, especially if they aren't a giant corporation. Very often they're totally willing, or our biggest accounts, they let us bill them twice a month. So we bill every 15 days. And so cash flow is really important to us, that it stays healthy and that we're just really on the ball with people paying us. So I would say like in your area, it could like literally like get out a map, get a spreadsheet and start just looking at businesses around you. And for us, we also have a no restaurants policy, which as our ladies know, there may be a good reason for that. No restaurants. We don't do restaurants.
Say that on restaurants. Because restaurants was one of the things, just doing my research, that I heard, you know, they are a business that's in the most pain when it comes to cleaning. So I did think about maybe I should target those just to get the ball rolling. But
I would recommend you talk to Ricky Regalado
on that. Yeah,
he got a lot of restaurants. But
and that can be done. Like obviously it can be. That's a personal. The time of day for cleaning, that's not going to work for Serene Clean. And for one of like for us and our scheduling, if you are willing to work late at night, totally cool. But remember, when somebody calls in, what are you going to do? Think about the worst case.
And that was my pain point because it was hard for us to staff it overnight. You know, I couldn't. I used to get those little calls. Oh, I can't work. I'm sick. You know, you was sick all day.
Right.
You knew you was sick.
Yeah, that was a good point. That was a good point that you made, Steph. Because that is a part of company culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just picking out the niche that you want to start in, because eventually the whole goal is to take yourself out and put someone else in. Yeah. So you want to be able to get something that somebody else would want to do. Right. You know what I mean? And restaurants, by all means, if that's what you want to do.
They make a shitload of money now.
Okay,
don't let us scare you away. Okay, by all means. You need to talk to some, like I say, reach out to Ricky Regalado. Yeah, he definitely, he's good. He'll give you some advice on restaurants. You can make a lot of money off of it. So I don't want to like shy you away from it. If that's really what you want.
It was more so like it doesn't make sense for my company, but it could absolutely make sense for you. And talking about your question, I don't want to forget that you had asked about like solving pain points for commercial facilities. Great question on that, because truly their biggest like pain points, people not showing up and no quality control after you get the bid. All right. You just wined and dined them to get this bid. You promised them the world. And then 6 months into it, they hate you because you haven't done anything that you said you were going to do. And you're not even checking on them. Do you care about them? And so regular quality checking, and then they should not have to repeat themselves if you screw something up. That is where I see they're on to the next. If they have to repeat themselves with the same complaint to you, that is where they're going to get frustrated. So a lot of times they can be very accommodating, but you need to actually show that you're fixing the problem. And so you have to be really swift with solutions. And like we had some complaints at one of our biggest like longest term facilities, and it was this particular cleaner, and we were like, we're pulling him because we can't risk this, and you know, I don't care, like this customer is that like important to me, and frankly this cleaner is, you know, been throwing a lot of attitude or whatever, so it just, you have to really make them feel seen and heard and not ignored, just like a house, you know. It is a lot of hand holding in that realm of, you got to take care of them, but they're making you a lot of money. Of course you should, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then another thing with the restaurants, if you have a Net 15 account and it's a commercial account, you can also just think about subcontracting it out to a company that can handle that restaurant, and they already have a staff, and they can worry about the staffing. Okay, that's just another option for you.
Okay. One more quick question I wanted to ask, because I know Stephanie said a lot about just the online presence. Now, when you're starting off, how would you increase your online presence? Let's say if you don't have the reviews, and is there a way that you would approach, for example, the Google SEO? Is there something that you would approach that to, you know, just increase your SEO?
Yeah, absolutely. Like SEO absolutely does work, especially when you have a lot of competition. However, you need to have way more articles that says Google, hey, I'm relevant, show me above the others, especially if they've got a lot of Google reviews. My ticket to like the fast lane was doing free cleanings. I did free cleanings in exchange for reviews. That got me practice, that got me presence, and that got me also word of mouth. Additionally, for you, it may be, you know, if you're trying to going after commercial, can you do a deep clean of a break room or something in exchange for the opportunity to bid, or in exchange for a one-off review or a video testimonial? Do you have any buddies that you could do a cleaning for, and they leave you a review for your work, right? Because at the end of the day, you proved yourself, right? And so I know that you're not doing any residential now, and you're focusing on like hopefully commercial. So your labor is the marketing cost, and that's how I saw my labor when it came to free cleanings. So you need to have way more articles than your competition on your website that have the keywords that you're trying to show up for. So what you can do easily is you can literally go on your competitions, like Google the cleaning services in your area for janitorial. Go on their website, and you can literally either go to their sitemap, or there's tools that you can look up how many pages do they have on their website. If they have 200 pages, which would be for content purposes only, like those aren't for people to like actually read. That's for Google, baby. Like that's why we have those. If you go on Serene Clean's website, there is like hundreds of articles on that. That is for SEO. That is, if somebody stumbles across it, they click off and go somewhere else on the website that is actually interesting to them. So if you were to look at those pages and actually analyze it, you'll see 6 instances of the keyword that we're trying to show up, and at least 1,000 words of content on each of those. And then when I'm actually setting that website page up, make sure in like the bottom like of the back end, you're putting the keyword that you're trying to show up. So if it's cleaning services, or janitorial cleaning in the Bronx, or whatever it is, what phrase you're trying to show up, that needs to show up 6 times and do 1,000 words of content. And it needs to be original. And you can use ChatGPT and tools for that. It needs to be original. That's like a new article every single time. And that'll start to build that up. So that's like I want to say labor intensive, but also again, like if we're trying to bootleg this thing or bootstrap this thing, how I would suggest it is, your labor can be utilized for marketing.
Okay. Now that's great information. Great information.
Good. Did we answer all your questions?
Yes. Yes. I didn't want to, but so when approaching the free cleans, I know it should be easy to give out something that's free, but is there a certain approach that you had when exchanging free cleans for reviews or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. So being that I, just like the ladies here, had intended to start with residential and only do residential, I went to my local community center that I work out at, and I found the ladies who are my ideal and likely buyer. For residential, that was like stay-at-home moms or dual income families, that type of thing. So I found the influencers in my area, which in a rural Wisconsin town, that was those ladies, right? They gossip like, the gossip, right? Which is
Right.
good, but also bad in some instances. But I knew that they would talk about me. And so I was like, hey, Bethany, literally, that was my first customer. Bethany, can I clean your house for free? And you tell my friends and you leave me a review. I wasn't even open yet. This was before I was even officially open. So that then when I did launch my Facebook page and my Google and stuff, she could leave the reviews there. And I didn't know about video reviews and the power of that. I would have asked for that as well. So they were happy to allow me to do that. So I did 10 free cleanings in that realm. So for you, when it comes to commercial, if this is where your network, I don't know how like intertwined you are into the community. If you know anybody who owns a business, and then what you can do it for them, and then you can point to them like, hey, so-and-so, I just did Joe's Fresh Market. I just did a deep clean of their break room because I'm trying to get the word out there that I'm building, or I'm, opening this cleaning service. They were ecstatic. Here's Joe's review. So get one under your belt, and then you can point to that. You got something to point to and say, would you guys like me to do this for the opportunity to potentially provide a bid for you guys? If not, no pressure. I'm just trying to get some, miles under my shoes here. And they're going to be most likely to help you, I find.
I love that. I
I
love
love
that.
it.
That's good.
I love it. Makes
Yes,
sense. Makes sense.
Uh-oh.
All right. Did you get your answer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Somebody put in the comments. I just wanted to reiterate: time limit on free cleaning. Yes, that's why for commercial, do like a specific area. For residential, I literally was crying at those houses because they took so long because they were filthy. So I then started limiting it to 8 hours, like 8 hours. Got done what I could get done. Don't just say free house cleaning. Always put a limit on it, because otherwise you are going to want to jump off a building because these houses are filthy.
And then even if you got a little cash or whatnot, you can pay somebody $100. Say, hey, would you do a clean for me, 3-hour clean at somebody's home? You got to make sure they're good now.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to nail it. Yeah.
Right. Tell them you'll pay them X amount of dollars for 300. I mean for a 3-hour clean, and in exchange for a review. So I would just look at it like or unless you're going to do it, but
it's an investment.
It's just an investment. That's how I would.
Yeah. And I would always do this thing verbally as well, just as an iteration on like what is actually legal. So legally, you cannot pay somebody to give like in exchange for a review. You also can't give free services in exchange for a review. Semantically speaking, the words we say matter. What you can say is, if you feel comfortable after, and you are interested in leaving me a review after I do this free cleaning, I'd really appreciate it. So that way you're not like actually exchanging it.
Yeah.
But because it is technically against Google's rules. Are they going to find any of us doing this? No, Google doesn't care about us. But I just want to like put that out there.
Yeah. You gotta be careful about that word.
Yes.
You gotta be careful.
It's all in the way we phrase things. Yes.
Yes. Reviews are so crucial. Reviews are what really kept our company afloat for so many years. Like the walkthrough that we just did yesterday came from Google. Matter of fact, all of our clients come from Google.
Yeah.
They find us on Google, they call us. So it's no more of me having to really do a lot of cold calling and doing door-to-doors and stuff like that. They're all finding us on Google.
Yeah, or word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like referrals. If you put it out there, to be honest, if you put it out there and you build your company culture and you run your company a certain way, far as the back end of the experience of the client and the cleaners, it'll actually speak for itself, and you will have people coming in and wanting to get the same type of services, because people will spread the word, especially if somebody is, working for your company and they feel like, oh my gosh, like, this is awesome. Like I've never been treated like this.
You stand out, stand out amongst the crowd, like candies with your logo on it, like stick out, and make them talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling. All right. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye. Woo, these are some really good calls, everybody.
Yes, really good questions, guys. Like for real, like great questions.
Listen, it is 3:40. 12. I don't want to hold Miss Stephanie for too long. Everybody, we've been on for a little over an hour. So we're gonna wrap it up. Miss Stephanie, let everybody know where they can find you at if they have any other questions. I know you do one-on-ones too, right?
I sure do. Yeah. So you can always email me. My inbox is always open, Stephanie@serene-clean.com. If you ever have just a quick question or just to connect, honestly, I just like to hear from you guys. Otherwise, my website, I do one-off consulting services. If you're ever interested, if you have a ton of questions and you want very, as you can see, my style is very rapid fire, let's get I can answer a lot of things very quickly. So you can check out my website, serene-clean.com, and click on the consulting services. I also have a ton of templates created from our experience as the business for different aspects of the business if you need some guidelines or templates or anything like that. And then honestly, I would love if you would listen to my new podcast, Filthy Rich Cleaners. If you just search that on YouTube, it's been such a blast. I had the ladies on. So if you kind of enjoy this very fun banter, and it's just I share a lot of the nitty gritty, not pretty stuff, I would say, and just like our ladies do here. So if you like that, I think you'll also enjoy the Rich Cleaners podcast. So I'd love to see you there, and obviously I want to see everybody at our workshop in a few weeks.
Yes. We will see y'all at the workshop. Miss Stephanie will be at the workshop, and she's going to be going over operations, finances, and getting that business organized. Okay.
Yes.
So definitely don't miss out on this next workshop. It is March the 22nd. We did change the date. The date was March 29th, but we had to bump it up because we want to see you. That's why. So, yeah, we bumped the date up. So it's March 22nd, everybody. Make sure I got the link down here somewhere. So click on that link and get those tickets. We want to see you
guys. It has been a pleasure. It has been an ultimate pleasure, like always.
Yes.
And we're gonna try to do these we'll do more before the workshop for sure, because this is so fun. That hour, I can't believe we just did an hour and it's bam.
Just quick. Yes. It starts off slow, and then that things start picking up.
We can talk for hours though, and forget about the time.
You guys were over at my house for 7 hours. We didn't
even realize until we started getting hungry.
Right. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Early bird tickets in on the 27th too, by the way, for everybody that like the slow drag. The 27th. No more early bird tickets. The price will be $250 after the 27th. Okay. All right. Miss Stephanie, it's been a pleasure. Until next time, we are out of here. Bye.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, somebody said, hold up. Oh, she said, what's her page? Let me get it for you real quick.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me get the page for you real quick. Oh. See.
Oh, look at Carolyn. Those are cute.
Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold your horses. 1 minute. Let me get this page for you. My computer. I got all these. Maybe if I get all these damn tabs,
right?
down,
I was gonna say just
it'll work.
Stephanie.
Maybe if I get these tabs down. All right. Thank you. Okay, that's her Instagram right there. I put it in there for you.
It's Serene Clean.
Let's
see. It says, "Hey, it's Serene Clean for everything."
Serene Clean. Serene Clean.
She just put it down there.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
All right, that's it right there.
Yep. Yeah. So we can get out of there.
All right, everybody, we're wrapping it up. Thank y'all for staying on. 18 people still on.
Okay.
18 people still on. All right, I gotta go pick my kids up, y'all. I gotta go. It's 3:00. I'm late.
Okay, bye y'all. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
We gotta go. We got to go.